Hi YouTube, I'm Coralfire, and I want to show you the killing mechanism for my wither skeleton farm in my survival world. This is something that I just sort of came up with based on some old designs for witch farm killing mechanisms that I realized could be updated for wither skeletons in the 1.15 update and beyond. So, we now have the awesome ability to have portals link up above the bedrock in the nether, which allows me to bring the wither skeletons from my Rayworks wither skeleton wither rose design farm up here to be killed with my looting 3 sweeping edge smite sword, or alternatively to have my dogs do it for me while I AFK. So if I'm up on top of these bars, I have 4 dogs in minecarts who are actually able to see the wither skeletons and attack them and kill them in one hit. I also have actually a fair amount of gold coming through this, where the zombie pigmen will just die for the most part. You can see I put a wither rose here. I need to add another one on this block here, because very, very rarely one will survive this fall. They don't seem to be wearing feather falling boots. It may just be that they spawned in right next to the drop on the spawning pads, and then they didn't get a lot of wither effects. But it is possible, so that's why I put that in there. Yeah, so I have these guys here, 4 dogs, and they're on soul sand, so that when these rails are put through here, they actually get sucked through the block. Now, the reason for this is because we're using sweeping edge in this design here. So if I were to just swing my sword indiscriminately, I'd end up killing my dogs. And I don't want that. So the way I've designed it is if I step on either one of these pressure plates, if I walk up basically to these iron bars, these guys get sucked down and they go down to the bottom there. So now I can swing away using my sweeping edge and just use looting on this farm. If I want to do this manually, just clicking every once in a while, and I can actually get more wither skeleton skulls this way. You have to come up here and do it yourself, but that's why you can step off the pressure plate and have the dogs come right back up and take over for you. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. I really find this design here just really fun, to be honest, more than anything else. I mean, obviously, most of the time, you'll probably just want to AFK and let the dogs do it. But maybe if you have a macro or something like that, you can step down onto here and do this. The other thing you can do is, say I have these guys and I want to turn this farm off. Say I want to, these guys are still going to fall through here, but I just don't want them to be killed for whatever reason. Maybe you want to do maintenance or whatever. If you just right click on the note block portion, it will cycle between having the dogs at the bottom and having the dogs at the top. So, you could even have it so that it would turn on if I do this. I don't know why. You could come up here and then have these guys do this. And then you'd be able to collect all of the XP and stuff like that. When you step off, the farm is off. However, I just like having these guys get killed all the time, especially because this can be happening when I'm working in and around. Maybe I'm not actually at the farm, but some spawns are still happening down below. Then this is still happening. So I'm just going to jump up onto these iron bars and collect some XP, collect some wither skeleton skulls, and I'm going to jump into my spectator account and join this as a LAN world and just show you what's going on. The design of the farm is actually quite simple, and I've tried to make it as compact as I could kind of make it, while still keeping it symmetrical, because this is my survival world, and I care about things like that. So the basic design for these is pretty simple. Basically, you just have 2 blocks here and a sticky piston so that this rail can go back and forth. And then you just sort of build up this design with the rails here that are being powered by this. And they're actually not, there's no rail on top of the soul sand, which means that this minecart is actually in this block, which means it's far enough that it can be sucked down. And then I just have a note block here and an observer facing into the, down here, and then this is on 3 ticks. This is actually super important because it's the precise timing that's required to suck a dog through the block, but not have him then go back up the system in an infinite loop. It's just something that I found out there. If it was on 4, the dog would go through. If it was 2, it wasn't always enough to suck the dog through the block. There were just some weird things going on. And then the rest of this redstone is just basically bringing the redstone signal, those need to be slabbed, uh, the redstone signal over here to power all 4 of these at the same time. So it's actually not all that complicated, though it does kind of look like a mess. And then down below here, I have 2 hoppers under here going into barrels, because that way I can actually put items. If I were to have, you don't really pick up anything in your inventory unless you're maybe standing up there. I haven't had it happen yet. It's a pretty quick system, but you can have access to those barrels down here. And then it basically goes through these hoppers down here into a very basic item sorter that will sort out the drops I actually want. I just collect the skulls, the coal, the bones, and the gold nuggets, and then everything else goes into this dropper and gets knocked down. So I don't get any gold swords because I'm not killing the zombie pigmen with looting, so it's just basically rotten flesh and stone swords that get dropped down there. You drop it into lava. I let them despawn because I got killed a bunch of the making this farm, and I lost some diamond gear by dropping it into lava, so don't do that anymore. And then this is just a little system to auto drop anything that goes in there. Yeah, pretty simple. 21 blocks up here is another portal with a chicken, 2 chickens riding a boat. And they actually, when the skeletons come through, they knock them out of the portal. There is one little issue here. You can see that it slowly accumulates baby zombie pigmen. And I haven't figured out how to get rid of these guys yet. Perhaps there's a way to do it with luring them out, maybe with turtle eggs or something like that. But this is kind of just a proof of concept. I don't want these guys to continue in my world because they use up the mob cap, and basically they're just too short to get pushed by this boat. So I'm thinking it might be possible to put these guys on a slab, and then that would knock those guys out. But yeah, this is basically the way the farm works. Let me just drop down here below the world and just show you the farm real quick, because there is some sort of important things to get this to work. Down here you can see my lovely perimeter, where I've just used whatever blocks I happen to have that day, carpets, slabs, buttons, to make a perimeter, because I did not make this over a lava lake, because I don't have a lava lake fortress anywhere near my base, and I want it to be as convenient as possible to come here. So yeah, this is Rayworks design. You can see here, everything just spawns here. Why aren't you reacting? Everything just spawns up here in the Wither Roses, and then yeah, you can see here the zombie pigmen go after the turtle eggs over here, which are hiding in there, and the Wither skeletons go after this iron golem, and sometimes they get stuck, but then their friends help them out. So the original design drops them all way down here, and then the collection system is even further down, which is why I built this in the first place, because I hated just traveling up and down here at scaffolding speed, which is the fastest you can move up here without making a massive elevator and breaking bedrock and stuff. And here I just have a clock. This isn't the best design that you could be doing. It was just what I had and could think of at the moment, and basically you just need anything that will push the guys into this portal here. And then I just have a trapdoor here that stops them from going down the main chute. So the actual farm itself is still operational as it was originally intended. Now, here we're going to be able to see these guys spawn in. They're going to drop through the lava, get themselves reset with fall damage, and then they get shoved straight into this portal. We are now on the other side of the portal, in the overworld, in the middle of an ocean, surrounded by baby zombie pigments and 2 chickens in a boat. Same thing we had on top of the portal in the nether. So the guys get sent through this portal, they immediately ablaze. That's super rare. That guy just path found. I've never seen that happen. Oh, poor buddy. He died. Of course he did. Yeah, so I guess Blaze can get in there, but they die in the water. Yeah, so it's a bubble column basically, right? Brings you up here, and then they go over this little soul sand bit here into the nether portal. Now, unfortunately, I need to move this portal back like 1 block. It's really bugging me that on rare occasions, the skeletons do not have enough time to cool down. And I can't quite figure out exactly how far this is. I've been moving it slowly over because there's a cooldown effect where once mobs exit a portal, they can't go back into it, and if they do, they won't go through. So that's what the soul sand is actually here for, to slow these guys down. So yeah, they basically just come through an elevator here and through here, and then they go into the overworld where we started the farm. So let me just go like this, back over here. So then we're back up here, and of course the same cycle will continue with them falling through here down to their demise. So yeah, this is a pretty simple concept. You could hook this up to really any type of farm. This I saw a long time ago, and I couldn't find the video now, but it was hooked up to a witch farm. I remember that, and it was a way to use looting on witch mobs. And I actually built that in this world too, but I've since resorted to not using it simply because it had too many problems, because you have to go the other way. You have to bring the mobs through the nether, and it was just kind of a real pain doing that. You need to use pistons and stuff, whereas this is really simple with the bubble columns, and it's allowed me to get a really stupid amount of wither skulls. I only have a few down here, but I was able to make like a stack of beacons. I have a ton of these back at my base, and it's got to the point where it's almost not even worth it. Wasn't even worth it for me to make this looting version. I kind of just did it because I wanted to, but I have more skeleton skulls than I'm ever going to need in my single player world, so that's kind of an interesting, what the, my guy's head is on backwards. Very strange, very strange. Anyway, I want to thank you guys so much for watching this video. It's just a cool concept. I'm not claiming that it's super original or anything, but it is something that I'm really proud of, especially since it was made and designed in survival, which I almost never do. Usually I do things in creative. So yeah, let me know what you guys think, or if you know any ways of improving it, especially up here with these annoying little babies. If anyone has a solution for that, I'm definitely all ears for that. So thank you guys so much for watching. Cheers, folks.